Back with a new video today. What we got today? The Hellcat and the Hellhawk. Let's start the Trackhawk first. You know, gotta get in the back because that's where all the viralness is. Okay. Let's go ahead and start the Hellcat. Shoot. Turn that off. Let's get in the Hellhawk and let's go. All right, man, let's just get right to it. 5 things I hate about my Hellhawk, man. I wonder what those 5 things could be. Let's see, something slight. What are the 5 things I hate about this beautiful beast? Number 1 is very easy to me, and I feel like a lot of people are gonna agree with me on this, is the Trackhawk name itself. The Trackhawk name itself is kind of boring, and at the same time I feel like it would be more legendary if there wasn't already a Jeep Trailhawk that already exists. The Jeep Trailhawk and the Jeep Trackhawk logo is exactly the same. The only difference is one says trail and the other one says track. But other than that, it's pretty regular. And on top of that, the Trackhawk is only on the steering wheel, on the seat, and on the back tail of the car. I just feel like Jeep half-assed the name, you know, like they didn't work very hard to give it a super dope legendary name. Like I call my Jeep Trackhawk, for those who don't know and are new to my channel or maybe just found out about me because of this video, I call my Jeep Hellhawk because it has the Hellcat engine, and obviously Jeep wanted to call it some form of a hawk, so I figured a Hellhawk was more befitting of what it is. But I feel like Jeep didn't really give it too much thought, and they probably didn't want it to be affiliated with the Hellcat name and this, that, and the third. But to me, I just feel like they didn't put their best foot forward when trying to give it a super legendary name, because it's a super legendary SUV, maybe the first and last of its kind. They should have gave it a more renowned name that's really going to ring bells and make people want to just have that SUV. Like Dodge, they came out with the Hellcat, and then right after that, they gave the new and improved Hellcat the Demon name. Like those are 2 dope-ass cool names. Trackhawk, and you already got Trailhawk? I mean, come on, Jeep, y'all know better, so y'all should have done better. Number 2, I believe a lot of people are going to agree with me on this one big time, and that's the fact that Jeep try to separate themselves from the SRT brand. For those who don't know what SRT brand means, it's street and racing technology, which if you make a 707 horsepower, 640 pound-feet of torque SUV called the Trackhawk, how could it not be affiliated with the SRT brand? And the SRT Grand Cherokees have been a great seller for Jeep and the Mopar community. So, and they're just super legendary SUVs. So to make the Trackhawk and not let it be part of the SRT brand, but to have the SRT Hellcat engine, to me just doesn't make sense. They don't have the SRT on the steering wheel, just got the regular Jeep here. It only has supercharged on the door, no SRT, there's no SRT on the back, there's no SRT on the front, there's no SRT on the seat, there's just no SRT nowhere, there's not SRT on the screen. I mean, come on, Jeep, y'all should have known better than that. And to be completely honest, I feel like when Jeep didn't affiliate SRT with this Trackhawk, I feel like a lot of people that were interested in the Trackhawk and were looking forward to the release date that was all the way with the mind frame, no Mopar or no car, I feel like a lot of people pulled back from getting it, and it didn't make it as legendary because it wasn't affiliated with the SRT brand. Like, don't get me wrong, Jeep is a legendary brand in itself, and it doesn't need SRT to be legendary, and SRT doesn't need Jeep to be legendary. They both have a super tsunami wave, but I feel like when 2 people get really big or 2 companies get really big, it starts to become who's bigger than the other, and then they start to have that ego thing happening. But the thing is, what I don't understand is when one person's legendary and another person's legendary, or a company in this case and a company in this case, when they're both super legendary, why not bring together and make a tsunami super legendary whip, you know? And I feel like that's what this would have been if it would have had the SRT affiliated with this Jeep. This is the thing though, it seems like Jeep was half in and half out with what SRT was trying to do, because it has the SRT Hellcat engine and it has SRT under the hood. Those are the only 2 spots where there's an SRT at in this entire Jeep. So the reason why I believe they were half in and half out was because if Jeep wanted to do their own thing and they wanted to set themselves aside from the SRT brand, then, you know, why still have the SRT Grand Cherokee hood? Why have the SRT Hellcat engine? Why have the SRT under the thing? Why? Because it's a selling point. Like, that is the main selling point of this SUV, is the fact that it's a Hellcat in a Jeep. But at the same time, they didn't want to give SRT credit for it being so legendary, and the reason why people are even entertaining the thought of paying $100,000 for this Grand Cherokee. See, the problem that I have with Jeep in this case, as far as when it comes to building this Trackhawk, is the fact that they obviously wanted to set themselves aside from the SRT brand. But at the same time, they didn't build their own engine, their own transmission, and all the performance parts that were specific for the Trackhawk, only for the Trackhawk. They used all the SRT Hellcat performance bits and maybe some parts from the Demon, for all we know, to build this legendary SUV. So if you didn't want to be part of the SRT brand, then you shouldn't have used none of the parts. Like for instance, the 6-piston brakes that are on here from the SRT Hellcat, the supercharger, SRT Hellcat, the engine, SRT Hellcat. Now, even the transmission, I don't know all the analytics behind the transmission, but I do believe it's the ZF 8-speed. It might be, it might not be, I'm not sure, but either way it goes, it's all built and took from the Hellcat. So to me, if you're gonna use all the SRT parts and all the other stuff, then you might as well give it the SRT name next to the Trackhawk. Or if you want to keep the Trackhawk name, put SRT next to it. It makes it that much more ferocious and that much more legendary, I believe anyway. And I feel like by them pulling back from the SRT brand, there was a lot of people that would have considered getting this Trackhawk that now pulled back because it doesn't have the SRT name. And the SRT name actually means a lot to the Mopar community. So if you, even though it might have the SRT Hellcat engine, it's like half and half. You know, it's not like the whole, I want 100% purebred SRT. That's what most people want, you know. So for them to have the engine but not have all the bits and pieces which matter, I feel like that was a lot of people's reasons for not getting the Trackhawk. Which brings me to my next point too as well. This has a lot to do with number 2, but it's totally different, but at the same time it's kind of the same. Number 3, it doesn't have the SRT Hellcat hood. Now, even though we talked about all the SRT bits and pieces that it got, from the engine to the transmission to the brakes, everything, pretty much everything, it does not have the SRT Hellcat hood. Now, even if it didn't want to have the SRT name on its Jeep, it still should have had the SRT Hellcat hood. Like, it could have not had the SRT name on it, you know, but it still kept the SRT Hellcat hood. I mean, like, come on now. And that's the reason why I feel like a lot of people would buy the SRT Durango over the Grand Cherokee Trackhawk. It's because it's got the SRT brand on it. Now, the thing is, if the SRT Durango comes out with the SRT Hellcat engine, I feel like a lot more people are gonna buy that up way more than they would, obviously, than they would this Trackhawk. Now, that's all up for debate, but I really do believe that it would be a no-brainer for a lot of people to be like, you know what? They got the 3rd row back seat, they got the SRT Hellcat engine, they got the SRT brand, and they got the SRT Hellcat hood, and it's super practical, and it's still got all-wheel drive, just like the Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the SRT Durango, and I really do believe that. And it'll probably be cheaper than the Grand Cherokee Trackhawk. So I feel like if they come out with the Durango, which I do believe they will, come out with the SRT Hellcat Durango hood and the engine and all that stuff and all the bits and pieces like how they did with this, but only they gave it the SRT branded, oh, it's over for the Grand Cherokee Trackhawk. Anyway, man, I could talk about that SRT and the whole Jeep thing and why there's not SRT badges and Hellcat badges and Hellhawk badges all around this Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk all daytime, purple and blue in the face. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of y'all have thought about these same things. You know, you can go on and on and on why they didn't make it that way, but at the end of the day, we'll never know because we don't know what took place in that office or whatever in the meetings and when they were trying to build this legendary SUV. Now, let's get to number 4. Number 4 is broken up into 2 kind of categories, really. And that's the fact that the supercharger whine is way too quiet and submissive, and so is the exhaust note. The supercharger whine isn't as bad as the exhaust note. The exhaust note is very tame, very quiet. I mean, to be all the way honest with y'all, I don't like the exhaust note. I haven't liked it from the time I got it. It has that deep growl like you would want, you know, in an SRT product. But at the same time, it's a little too tame. It's a little too submissive, you know? And once you get on it, let me show y'all for a second. I mean, it's there, but it's not, you know? Not like how you want when you getting something that's 707 horsepower. You want that joint to be brolicky. You can hear that thing coming down a mile away. Like with my Hellcat, when I bought my Hellcat, obviously I got a muffler delete on it now for those who don't know. But like you seen at the beginning of this video, when I started both, it was night and day difference, even though I got a muffler delete on my Hellcat. Now the thing is, with my Hellcat, no lie, and I debated for a long time when I first got my Hellcat if I even wanted to get a muffler delete, because the exhaust note sounded so good that I didn't even want to take the chance of ruining it. And obviously the muffler delete sounds great, but in this one, it's like, it's no debate. You have to either get a full exhaust or you have to get a muffler delete for a person like me, because I like it loud. and this joint is quiet. So that would eventually have to change for me if I plan on keeping it long-term wise. Now, to talk about the supercharger whine. The supercharger whine is there, but they did something that made that supercharger whine more quiet, because in my Hellcat, let me show y'all real quick, look. Like, you can hear it, but it's not all the way there and relevant like it is with my Hellcat, which is night and day. All the way you hear that thing ringing. So like I said, with this, you would have to get a full exhaust put on for a person like me who likes their car loud or their SUV loud, or either you got to get like a muffler delete. All those things combined bring me to the fifth thing that I hate most about my Jeep, Hellhawk, Trackhawk, whatever you want to call it. I call it the Hellhawk because it just sounds more swaggy. That brings me to my fifth thing I hate most. And my fifth thing I hate most is the fact that it's $100,000, and all those 4 other reasons or things that I gave y'all that I hate most about it don't come standard on this Jeep Trackhawk for $100,000. For $100,000, all that should be non-existent. Now, don't get me wrong, I made a video talking about why this was worth $100,000. So if you haven't checked out that video, go check out that video ASAP. But right now, currently in this time of this video and all the things that I'm telling y'all right now is the reasons why I hate the fact that it's $100,000 and you don't get those other 4 things that I just mentioned. And like I told you, if the SRT Durango comes out with that SRT Hellcat engine, it's gonna blow up the Jeep Trackhawk. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, like physically, boom, non-existent no more. Those are my 5 things that I hate most about my Jeep Trackhawk. Now, I know a lot of people may agree, may disagree. I don't know, who cares? Those are my 5 things, and this is my shit, so that's all that matters. So I'm just voicing my opinion to y'all and giving y'all this video. But nonetheless, I appreciate y'all tuning in and supporting the movement, watching the ads, buying the merch, and more than anything, man, just subscribing to my channel and constantly staying tuned in to what I got going on, because we all got things that's going on in life that we all could be doing and using our time other than doing something else. And y'all sitting here watching my video, supporting the movement, man, I really appreciate it, man. Words can't express how much I appreciate y'all constantly supporting the movement, man, watching the ads and doing all these great things that y'all been doing for me, man, because there would be no Tall Guy Car Reviews without y'all. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love what I do and I love these whips, I love going fast, I love living life, you know, but there would be no me, there would be no YouTube plaque, there would be no YouTube revenue if it wasn't for y'all, man. So whether you tune in just to say you hate me, hey, I love you. If you tune in just to support the movement, hey, I appreciate you. No matter the reason you're tuning in, I appreciate you for tuning in and watching the videos, and I appreciate you even more if you watch them ads. But just like that, man, not much else to say. Those are the 5 things I hate most about my Jeep Hellhawk. Just like that, this video's over. It's done. Like I said, I appreciate y'all so much, man. Just like that, I'll catch y'all in the next video, man. I'm out of here.